Hello students, in this video we'll understand about the regional imbalance. So this video belongs to chapter number 7, Region and Regional Development, which is from 12th standard geography book for arts and science stream students. So this is the third part and the final part of this chapter. So now we'll see what are the things which creates a imbalance in a region. So here you can see two sections, that is more developed region and the next section is less developed region. Okay, so what things are causing an imbalance in the region is the economic prospectus, then the social prospectus, as well as the political background. So any type of instability in any of these cases is going to lead your region as a less developed region. And if all the things like economically it is favorable, if socially it is favorable, as well as politically it is stable, then definitely your region will be more developed. So the imbalance is being, or the any type of imbalance in the region is being calculated with the help of these indicators. So region imbalance, considering India as a region. So if we consider India as a single unit or a region, then we know that there is a regional imbalance as levels of development is not similar in all the sub-regions. So taking a country like India as a region, there are several states, several districts and towns in it. Okay, so those can be again called as sub-regions. So you can see that each and every sub-region which belongs to India is having a different quality, different characteristic. Physical factors like location, relief, altitude, availability of resources, accessibility have been responsible for the imbalance of regional development. So any type of physical factors like location, what is the location, what is the relief, how is the altitude in that place, what is the availability of resource or water, any type of thing or any accessibility issue is there or not. So all these things are going to create, or they are responsible for imbalance of the regional development. While some regions have better position in terms of geographical location, mineral and other natural resources, the others are lacking behind in this. For example, the states located in difficult terrains surrounded by hills and dense forest, like the states of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and several northern eastern states are behind the other regions having more mineral and other resources. So there are some states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and some northern eastern places. Okay, so these places are lagging behind as compared to other regions in India. Why? Because they don't have that much amount of accessibility. They are covered by hills, they are covered by dense forest, and the soil over there is not fertile. You cannot cultivate much, the climate is not favorable. So because of certain environmental issues and the accessibility issues or lack of resources available there, is making these places more imbalanced. So, regions which have ports, airports, have an advantage over others. For example, you know that while determining the location of iron and steel industries, nearness to raw material is the criteria. So if some place has a is some place is blessed with natural resources, okay, so because of that, in those places you can see high development. Now if some area has rich amount of iron or rich amount of steel, then definitely there will be a setup of those industries in those places, so that they can extract those things and they can make a good iron and steel industry function properly. Now, what are the causes of regional imbalance in India? So, the physical factors are like location, relief, altitude, availability of resource, and accessibility. So, these have been responsible for the imbalance of regional development. So, if your location is not good, if there is no proper amenities, facilities, or any type of climatic environment is not good, then definitely that location is going to create an imbalance. Second is relief. If the relief is in high hilly area or it is covered by forest, there is no accessibility, there is no transportation medium to visit there, it is totally a remote area, then definitely it is going to create an imbalance again. Then is altitude, then is availability of resource. If the resources are only not present, then there is going to be a slow development. You cannot do anything with the help without resources. So the availability of resources is very much important for the development of region. And next is accessibility. So accessibility means what? There should be some medium, there should be some transportation medium which can connect that region to another regions. Okay, it should be easily accessible. So if the accessibility is not there, then also it can lead to the imbalance of a region. So let us come across with regional imbalances of development. So first is historical factor, that is population, centers of trade, colonial exploitation and partition. So these were the historical factors which has happened in past, and because of that regional imbalance is being created. Next is your social factors like population, gender inequality, education and illiteracy. So because of large amount of population is high, then if there is gender inequality, the men and women are not treated as equal, and if the education and literacy rate is low, then definitely it is going to create an regional imbalance. Next is political factors. So the political factors, if they are not stable, if you have so many political parties and they don't coordinate with each other, then definitely they are not going to benefit that particular country or region. And development versus communal agenda, even conflicts will be more and land reforms will be more. So if any place which is not stable in the aspects of political factors, then it is going to create a imbalance in that particular area. Next is geographical factors. So the geographical factors like coastal location, difficult terrain, natural resources, virtual north and south divide. So these are all the natural, physical, geographical factors which will also lead to imbalance in the regional development. And last is your economic factor, which is based on industrialization, per capita income, GDP, green revolution, connectivity and infrastructure. So this is all about regional imbalance of development. Now what are the strategies which will help you to reduce the regional imbalance? Okay, so let us see the strategies. In India, many policies have been considered and implemented to reduce the regional imbalance. So regions which are not developed were initially identified. The reason behind non-development are also identified, and this can be physical, social or economic reasons. Okay, so whichever region is lagging behind, then that region is being identified, and because of what it is lagging behind or what are the difficulties which are faced, so those difficulties are identified and the government is working on it. Different types of criteria are considered while identifying such areas, like funds are allocated to those regions which need them in particular sectors or fields. Sector-wise investments are then done to improve the condition in these areas, and such funds are given in the form of subsidies and investments in roads, schools, agriculture, irrigation, industries, housing, medicinal and health facilities, etc. are done. Special care is taken for the regions which have been identified as drought prone, desert, hilly and tribal dominated areas. Decentralization of industries is also strategy to reduce the regional imbalance. So there are several things like the subsidies are provided, the investments are done on roads, the investment is done to increase the literacy rate like schools, colleges, even the agriculture and irrigation facilities are promoted with new techniques, mechanization. The industries are increased as well as housing and medicinal and health facilities are improved in those places. So this is how the strategies are done to reduce the regional balance in that particular region, okay, whichever region is lagging behind, and to improve that region and to develop it rapidly. Now, the strategies to reduce imbalance: regions which are not developed, first of all, they are identified. Then, what are the reasons behind it? Why? What is making them as undeveloped? They are also identified. Then, the funds are allotted to them. The funds are allotted to them in the form of subsidies, in the form of investments. So, this is how the funds are allotted by the government. Then sector-wise investments are also done in those places to improve the condition in those areas. If they have a good and proper place, which is very much big place and where an industry can be established, so such type of industries are established which can increase the employment chances and which can increase the economic condition of that region. Special care is taken for the regions which have been identified as drought prone, desert, hilly and tribal dominated areas. So some places which are not developed because of the natural climatic condition. Okay, if the climate is totally hot and it is totally desert area where you cannot cultivate anything, the soil is also not fertile. So in such cases, the other sector investment is done. Okay. Otherwise, where there is totally drought, okay, in such places also sector wise investments are done, and special care is taken in these places, and decentralization of industry is also avoided. Next is human happiness index. Now, human happiness index is measured in the parameters like housing, education, life satisfaction, income, environment, safety, work, wealth and work-life balance. So if all these things comes into a package, then we call it as human happiness index. So world's happiest countries are Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, Netherlands, Sweden and New Zealand. So these are the places which have very less population, and these are the places where you can see the happy people. Okay, hence it is called as world's happiest countries. Why they are world's happiest countries? Because all the things in these countries are very much favorable. The things like the income of the people is good, the environment is good, the safety in those countries is very nice, there is a complete balance in their personal life and in their professional life, and they have a well standard of living with a good life satisfaction. So this is all about regional imbalance, how government takes or implies a strategy to overcome from the regional imbalance, as well as we have also studied about human happiness index and which countries come in human happiness index. So this is all about region and regional development. So thank you for watching. Do subscribe the channel.